So there was a lot of terrific non-derby action over the weekend, and before I do that, we get to that. I just want to shout out us on a personal level, all the West Point partners that came out. We had an unbelievable turnout on the Thursday morning backstretch tour, at our cocktail party on Thursday night, and then Oaks Day and Derby Day. Obviously, it was great to see everybody, and it's one of the things I love about this job is like being around that many passionate people at the races and on the backstretch. So shout out to the team at West Point, and shout out to all the partners as well who came through. Oaks was a total miss on my part. Like, I was way against Good Cheer. I just didn't think that she towered over that field the way the odds suggested, and I was dead wrong. She was way the best, handled the sloppy track, went wide, and is clearly the leader in the 3-year-old filly division. John, before we get to the rest of the undercard, any thoughts about the Oaks?
Well, I mean, again, I know that we can say, hey, the richest people won, and good for them, and tip your cap. But it's still, in this business, as you like to say, Joe, it's a meritocracy. It's not how much money you have. And I think that we do need to tip our cap to that program, because they won the Derby, they won the Oaks, they won a couple of the undercard races, and they stand Medaglia d'Oro, who is the sire of Good Cheer and the sire of our filly Nitrogen, that I know we'll talk about in a little bit. So I think that, Good Cheer remaining undefeated is great for the industry. Good Cheer winning that race on the slop and showing that she has, kind of a breadth to her abilities as well, is a really intriguing thing. And that was a really stacked. I thought that the Oaks was a tougher race entry than the Derby. It's just my opinion. And I bet against, we went on the show. I went on the show with you and said, I'm going to take the chalk away and not bet on Good Cheer and not bet on Cassie's entry, Lacara. And I was right on one of them. But it was not an easy race, as the Oaks, should be laid out to be. It should be a tougher race. And Good Cheer showed that she's got the moxie, and that she can run on slop, mud, rain, fast, broken glass. It doesn't matter. Like, really, influential fillies like that, influential horses like that, run on anything. And she is atop the class, and for good reason. I mean, how many times have we seen, in recent years, Joe, where a horse is, what is she, 7 for 7, 8 for 8 now?
Mm-hmm. 7 for 7.
Yeah. I mean, this late in their career, to have taken on all comers and have finished first every single race, that's not easy at any class in any division.
No. She's the real deal. I mean, I'm going to disagree with you about the quality of the Oaks field. I didn't think it was that great, but she certainly is the goods. And yeah, like I said before, there's a lot of really talented, really smart, good people who work for Godolphin. I'm just not particularly happy for the principles of the ownership.
Yeah.
So I to clarify that before people start yelling at me, because apparently I have to be happy for every single owner and every single trainer that wins any big race at any point throughout the year. So just to be clear and clarify that. I know that there are
influencers are good people you can root for. So
I know they all have to be my favorite horses of all time, but I have to root for every single one.
I will say this though, and this is again just showing the class of the people that I know that are out of the Darley representation group. I was standing there waiting to come over with Sandman. Boy, how quickly we forget our horses' names, right?
What's his face?
The horse,
the gray guy,
the gray horse. Yeah, exactly. And I'm standing there, and it's pouring down rain. And Kate Galvin, who is a friend of the show and a friend of mine, walks over to me, and the good mom that she is said, "I have an extra rain poncho if you want." And she gave me a rain poncho because I was just a sopping wet mess at that point before I even started to cry. I was just, it was all the rain. So it's nice. It's nice when good things happen to good people. Okay. On that.
No, for sure. And like I said, there's a lot of good folks in that operation. Yep. Just to clarify, okay. John, I got to brag a little bit at the top of this segment about West Point and the West Point family. You can brag a little bit because Nitrogen did her thing again in the Edgewood. She was awesome. She's so clearly the best horse in that division. I already knew that going in, but she just stamped it again. Honestly, I can't remember a 3-year-old filly at this point in the year who was this head and shoulders over the rest of her contemporaries. What was that like?
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that. The fact that she's a homebred too,
right?
Really adds just a little bit additional cherry on top of the sundae. I'm getting goosebumps right now talking about it. And I'm genuine when I say that, Joe, because you don't when you go into these big races, especially on Oaks and Derby Day, you're going against the best of the best. And I know that the filly won at Keeneland, about a month before, and in the Appalachian, and that also was a very tough race. But when you get on the biggest stage, and in this case, on Oaks Day, and you have an opportunity to run a horse that's 6-5, you want them to run like they're 6-5. And Nitrogen did. And there was a lot of talk and about, well, Lush Lips is a really nice filly, and she is. Our other part of the entry, Vixen, is a really nice filly, and she is. And can they turn the table? And things were trending in that direction. And all Nitrogen did was said, hold my beer, and just made a big run down the lane. And she's improving every single time. And the thing that was the most fun about the win was that earlier that day, we brought a friend of ours to the barn to meet Nitrogen and Vixen and America the Great, who's our horse that we own, that Bobby Flay bred, and to kind of stand within 10 yards of Sandman, not get too close to Sandman, but stand within shouting range of Sandman. And this is the morning of the race. All Nitrogen was doing was this, like up against our friend Jody, just loving her and rubbing on her, and just couldn't get enough, interest, and was like a horse, was like a fun, really kind horse. And that's the way she's always been, until you put the blinkers on. And when she gets her blinkers on, it's like a totally different horse. I mean, the all of a sudden it's game time, and she is all business at that point. But yeah, it's when you see a horse like that have that extra gear, especially in a grade 2 or a grade 1, it's really exciting. But the fact that now we have the mare, we have the half sister, the mare was bred to, not this time, a little cross promotion there. And, it's a very proud moment for me when we do that. My dad got to walk her into the winner's circle. She wore our colors because she's all ours. So there were just a lot of factors that made me very proud that moment and very proud that day. And it doesn't happen that often, but she's undefeated this year. She's 4.
What's next for her?
She is going to run on Belmont Day. Actually, we'll have the Nitrogen Sandman daily double again. It's like a $300,000 grade 2 on the undercard.
The Wonder again?
Belmont. I believe that is. I'll have to. I don't remember the name, unfortunately.
I think it's the Wonder again because it's like the prep for the Saratoga Oaks.
Yes, that is it. Basically, her next series is going to be a 3-race series in New York. That's awesome. What she's going to be. And by winning the Edgewood, she got like a free pass, free entry, and a travel voucher to go to Ascot to run. And they were in the trophy room with us, talking to us about the merits of it. And I didn't want to be rude, but basically I was like, no, she's running in New York. And they were like, well, but we have this voucher and we'd really like to have her. I understand. I agree. But this is New York.
Can I take that voucher?
You can take the voucher.
Is it transferable?
It is, but you're going to have to run, a 1.1 miles in under 2 minutes. So if you can do that, God bless.
I'll start training right now. Daddy wants to go to Royal Ascot. But yeah, so that was a phenomenal win. Can't wait to see what she does the rest of the year. Just a couple of other results I want to mention from the undercards on Derby and Oaks Day. Torpedo Anna finally got beaten. I thought going into that race, and you can check the tapes, like Jimmy and I tried to beat her in the pick 5 at least. That didn't end up cashing, but nevertheless, she just seemed like she was out of her game from the start. She had a little trouble going into the first turn, and then once she turned for home, just didn't have it at all. Dr. Bramlage went over her, couldn't find anything wrong. So hopefully it was just a bad day. Well, she's obviously one of our best stars in racing in a really long time. And then 2 horses I wanted to mention in particular in winning efforts, Fierceness and Copian. I thought were both really, really good. Obviously, Fierceness, first start of the year, winner 107 buyer. I think it was stakes record or track record, one of those two.
New track
record, yeah. So that's pretty impressive for a 1.16 at Churchill. They've been running a lot of races at that distance for a really long time. The Most Wanted ran really well to be second in there. Locked was a bit of a disappointment. But yeah, Fierceness is leader in that division now. It's until Sierra Leone does something super impressive. To me, he's the horse to beat. And Copian has done has come a long way in a really short amount of time for Richard Mandela in the winning the La Brea and then winning that other race that name escapes me right now out in California, and then coming east or to the Midwest and winning the Derby City Distaff. She got a 109 by her, I believe, to back up the 108 that she got in the California race. Those were the two most impressive horses on the undercards for me, John. Any thoughts on them or anybody else that stuck out to you?
Yeah, I would have to jump in and say Mind Frame in the Churchill Downs.
That was a great race. What a great finish that was.
Oh, it was like a 4-horse photo, right? I mean, it was
Mm-hmm.
it was unbelievable. And again, a horse that that's not his preferred distance. And to come out and run 7/8 and run those horses down and really get them at the nip. I mean, at the very last moment, to get up for the victory. Again, I'm name dropping. Vinny Viola and his wife were in the box with us when the horse ran. And he's a really down to earth. I mean, I had never really spent a lot of time talking to Vinny Viola and his family, and just what good people. I mean, down to earth. You wouldn't know that he's as wealthy as he is, and was more concerned about is my dad warm? Is he cold? Does he need something to eat? Just a good dude. But he was like so excited that the horse won and got it at the last zap. It was just nice because there was such a positive energy, from that horse winning. And again, coming off a little bit of time layoff and not running his preferred distance and getting his very first grade 1 win, right? If I remember correctly.
Yep.
So I would say that was the one race that I took away and said, wow, and that was a stakes record, I think, too, in the slop.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was really impressive.
Yeah.
And, I think all 4 across the wire first ran really big races too. That was a stacked race with Nisos and Mulligan and Bookham Dano. It is, I mean, it's a grade 1 you expect it to be, but that was a really, really nice race. And I think that makes me look forward to the Met Mile coming up on Belmont Day. How stacked is that race going to be?
Yep. And for those of you who are listening at home, I can tell you with all honesty and sincerity, if you don't have your tickets and your hotel reservations for Belmont weekend, you better do it sooner rather than later, because we tried, and basically everything in and around Saratoga Springs and like a 20-mile radius from a hotel standpoint is locked down, sold out. Even if you wanted to spend more than going rate, it's going to be a tough get to do it. And tickets are also going to be difficult. I know for the Kentucky Derby, they still had some excess capacity as far as tickets go, but I don't think that's going to be the case at Saratoga. And it looks like those races, people are pointing for those races. I mean, us included, Baeza. You mentioned all those horses that are going to run in the Met Mile. It is going to be a great weekend of racing. And how much fun is it that it's going to be at Saratoga?
Yeah, I mean, it was great last year. Like I said, the only thing is Saturday was too crowded.
Yeah.
It's Belmont Day last year at Saratoga with supposedly 50,000 people.
Right.
Felt way more crowded than Churchill did on Saturday with 150,000 people. So I really hope that they restrict the attendance just a little bit, because Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday last year were all really fun, and they did a great job at NYRA. I'm dreading Saturday a little bit just because of how crowded it's going to be, but we'll see.
Yep. Well, I'm hoping that
I'm an old man, by the way. This is like my official transformation into an old man. That it was fun, but could you not sell it so much?
Yeah. Welcome to the dark side. You're getting your AARP card pretty soon, Joe.
Can't wait.
I'm hoping that, and this is a shout out to anyone who's in his camp, I'm hoping that we can get David O'Rourke on the show sometime between now and before Belmont weekend, because we'd love to hear about all the new construction going on and the new plans for Belmont, what they're seeing as far as Saratoga this year, and obviously Belmont at Saratoga, the Belmont at Saratoga weekend. Like you said, they did it last year. I think they kind of learned a couple of things and are ironing it all out. But I'm really, and I don't like crowds, and I'm really looking forward to that, just because the card is going to be so impressive.
Well, you're going to be in like a suite, John. It's different when you're 6 or 7 deep at the post bar.
Doubtful. All I know is I'm a humble brag. I was in the paddock for the Kentucky Derby, and I'm looking around, and basically all I'm seeing is people's shoulders, because we're packed in there like sardines, and I can't see. And then I see like Jose go by, and he goes, "Hey!" and he points over at me. I was like, oh, I was like a fanboy. I was like, oh,
Notice me.
my stars.
Yeah, still starstruck by all of the celebrities that only we would ever recognize. But yeah, and also shout out to Jose, because he rode that horse as to the best of his abilities, considering the circumstances. He's a great guy. Yeah. That's the other thing, is it's great to be part of this team. I mentioned the Cassie team before, and you mentioned Vinny, and obviously West Point, you and your dad. It's a really great group of people, and like I said, I can't wait for us to get up there for the Belmont.